Welcome back to Inter-University Debate Show. My name is Gilbert Kato, your host today. Parliament freezes the creation of new cities until the 10 created are supported and fully functional. Today I'm joined by amazing panelists. On the far right, I have Namuddu Rhona from Kyambogo University. I am also joined by Kimuli Andrew from Muteesa One Royal University. I am also joined by Byonanenye Joan from International University of East Africa. And right next to me here is Kwikiriza from Kyambogo University. I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves and tell us what transpired in the week. What is something that stood out for them? And then we shall get into the biggest question of today. Is this move of halting the creation of new cities a political tactic, or it is urban expansion? Let me start with Kwikiriza for a brief introduction about yourself and greetings to the people who are viewing us outside there.
Good evening to everyone here and our viewers outside there. We are privileged to be here as the youth and discussing matters of national importance. The host here brought up the major thing that we shall be discussing tonight, and I think majorly it's what I focused on, and it has been my highlight since I was introduced to this topic. So I was trying to look at all what we are in. It is an electoral season, and it's beautiful that we have come to discuss this same issue in such a time. So for me, it stands out that we are in the exact time when we should be looking at, really, are we sending the right legislators back to Parliament to think about the same things that they have been thinking about, which are not, should I say, not making impact? But yes, they are not. Because the cities they have created, I don't see any impact apart from drowning the country itself, right? So that is my major highlight, the electoral period and the rest of the things.
Okay. You still had something, I think?
Yeah, I was just basically going to introduce myself.
Okay.
Baker, which is Kyambogo University, and basically that's what I can use to introduce myself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Joan, people would love to know more than the name. So this is your time.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kato. My name is Joan Byonanenye, and I'm a student at the International University of East Africa. So about what stood out for me during the week, you know, we had elections for basically the youth elections. And from my observation, I think NRM is still leading in most of the districts in the country. You know, all those positions were taken up by NRM, meaning they are doing things with intention, from the parishes to the, you know, from the village level to the sub-county, and they had to take it at the district level. So I want to congratulate my friends who made it to the district level as the secretary, female, finance, chairperson, and all those positions. We are really proud of them, and we are waiting to see what Generation Z has for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Andrew.
Okay, thank you, our moderator. Kimuli Andrew is my name. I'm a student from Muteesa University, Kakega campus. And what took my mind throughout the week is we have been watching different medias for the recent elections, youth elections, and different groups. What I have realized during these elections, I've seen a lot of violence. During these elections. People have been killed, many people have been injured, some have been taken into prisons. And remember, these have been just only party elections. You understand? Now we are trying to imagine what will be there 2026. There's a lot of challenges, and in real sense, our country needs to change, and we should get a sense of humanity as leaders. That is it.
Okay, thank you so much. Rhona.
Okay, my name is Namuddu Philomhera. I'm a student at Kyambogo University, pursuing a bachelor's in human nutrition. So my highlight for the week is one, the idea that the leaders or our local government minister was able to take accountability. Because away from most of the things that we've been facing, being able to stand up and be like, well, we want to take accountability, this has not been able to be put in place. Yes, we agree with that, and we are going to do this to solve that problem. My only question lies, is this taking accountability, or is it also a political stunt that is also there? My other highlight, like I said, I'm a student of human nutrition and dietetics, is the entire last week, we've been having a breastfeeding week. We are implementing policies to help mothers be able to have safe spaces for breastfeeding. Yes.
Thank you so much. We've had a number of highlights out of the week, and we'd like to, for this particular conversation we're going to have, we're going to focus on the creation of new cities. And this hold comes because we have 10 cities that were created. I think that was 1st of July 2020, when these cities were all passed. And this hold comes to make sure that these created cities that were initially passed are fully supported and functional. And that's a statement that we received. But today we're asking ourselves the question, is this move a political move, or indeed it's looking at urban expansion of our country? And we want to look at especially those cities. When we pose that question to ourselves now, what do we think propelled this freeze and this move? I want to begin with you, Becca.
For starters, you know, that whole move is I think humorous to me. It is humorous. I don't know where this whole idea of these people thinking that we need more cities, when the capital city that we had never made anything that was sensible in terms of development, in terms of job creation, in terms of of what we should expect of a city, right? So now, because I want to term these people who are in government, people who are moving the creation of these new districts to be power hungry, and these people don't want to lose the grip. And what are they doing? By the mere fact that there are other people that are coming up into power, and they see they will be phased out. So they are creating more cities, in a sense that, because if you look at what a city is, the creation of a city means that they have created a new district. It needs an MP who is male, two who are male, I think, and then we have the other woman, not essentially by the male. We have two MPs represent the constituencies, and then we have the woman MP, right? That means that we are looking at that. So people are seeing they are growing up, and more people who are young are coming up, and they're looking, where are we going? Because the big man had once said, you want me to go where? You people are chasing me, where do you want me to go? So it becomes humorous. And when you see them creating new cities, it is not far away from saying that these people are just merely power hungry, and they don't want to lose the grip of what they're holding. So for me, it doesn't make sense, and it is just humorous, because one, I'm looking at a country that is having a debt burden that I stopped following up. I don't know where we are right now, because of the level of disillusionment that I have got into the debt burden that we are drowning in as a country. That is one. And creation of new cities calls for one. It means we have to create new administrative units, right? We have now to fund more we have created more electoral presses. We have to create, so it is just a thing that is going to strain the small budget that we are having. And for me, as a youth, as someone who's growing up, it doesn't make sense. Uganda is like this poor man who is producing very many kids. And what is his argument? God will look after them. It is God. You understand? So these people, I think, when the motto of Uganda is for God and our country, they took it personal, that God will do magic for them. But it's not magic. We need funds. We need to move this. And essentially, what are these people doing? They are creating cities. They are there. And what?
Maybe, Becca, before we can even proceed, we are talking about now there is a freeze of those cities, because now the 10 were already created. Now there were more that were suggested to be coming on board.
That is the second phase.
And the second phase. And Parliament now puts that to hold until the 10 are fully supported and functional.
Yeah.
Are they doing something good for us by doing that? Or it's just a political move they are bringing on board?
Still, I want to tell you that it doesn't make sense. Even if they put a hold, even if they don't put a hold, right? Because essentially, I don't find any sense or any meaning in the creation of the other 10 that they created. So putting a freeze here, it's just like you're watching a movie and you just paused it to see what maybe go for a short call. These people are going for a short call. They're using the funds now maybe to go into the elections or something. But for me, even the freeze, it is just a scene. It is just a political move, and it is not urbanization for me.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, it is not urbanization.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Becca. Joan, we're looking at a time when the only city we knew in Uganda was Kampala. And now we have 10 new cities that came on board. Now we no longer have to rely on this one city. Yes, it's the capital, but we have more of them that have come on board. Of course, the creation of another administrative unit like that comes with privileges and other things, the level of services and many other benefits for the people, but also for the country. In your own view, do you look at this, even the freeze that has come, do you look at it to be something beneficial to this country, or it is something that has its own intended purposes behind it that are just hiding within the support and expansion of these cities?
Okay, so first of all, it's two-way around. Since I'm not into the deep politics, I'm not in parliament, so I don't know their intentions. But when we look at it generally, it would be good freezing them because one, the 10 of them that are already in existence, right now you can't be like, you know what, we are going to Sembara is no longer a city. So freezing the ones that are supposed to be becoming a city, I think it's a right move, even if we don't know if it's a political move, but for now it's the right way to go. One, because now when you look at the cities we have, you ask yourselves, and you reach somewhere sometimes and you're like, why is this one a city? So the ones that wanted to become cities, for example, where I come from, I think sometimes as the people push our politicians to do things, and these politicians at times, since politics became a what? It became a
job.
It became a job. Sometimes they have nowhere to go. They are not looking at the future of the country. They are just looking at them. They are selfish. And us, the citizens, at some time, we also become selfish and pull these people to do what? To do things. So, for example, I come from a land where a minister comes from. And during this political season, you see in our group, people are claiming, why did he stop? He's one of the people that were like, Kabale should not become a city. And people were like, really, how do we defend such a person to go back to parliament? So that's a time where we have to go back and tell our people that, actually, this person is doing the right thing. We are not supposed to have another, okay, when you have Kabale as a city, you ask people and you're like, if you go to Kabale right now, you look at how things are moving, do we really deserve a city? And people are not looking at that. They are just looking at creating more jobs for themselves, being in the government, and they are just selfish, but they are not looking at the future of the country. Maybe if we have a transition, what will happen? And then the generation that is in the government, if it goes away, what will happen? They are just selfish, They are looking at, okay, now I'm working as this. So if a city is created, maybe I'll have a say, or maybe, for example, someone will become a mayor, like that. So people are just weighing all that, and they are not looking at the future of the country. Those are the people that you will ask how Uganda is doing financially. They don't even know that we have debts. They don't even know that themselves are paying too much tax because of those debts. They don't know that our businesses are not doing well. We are failing industrialization because of all these things, creating more districts, creating more municipalities, you're increasing up and you're not looking at the downfall of the local people. How are they benefiting? Can someone from school go out there and get some little funds and start up something for themselves?
Okay.
They are not looking at all that.
Thank you. That takes us to the many underlying challenges that are within the newly created cities, which shouldn't call for having other cities coming in. Andrew, the 10 cities that have been created and already existing, we now look at how they can be supported and how they can become fully functional. Why are they not fully functional at the moment? What are those underlying challenges of these 10 newly created cities?
Mr. Monitor, you know, when you are trying to plan to put something into existence, you have to budget. Now, when the government is planning to upgrade these municipalities into cities, it needs to first know, does these municipalities which you want to upgrade into cities, are they accredited to, or do they fulfill those requirements? Remember, when you want to create a city, you have to consider some of the factors. First of all, you have to consider the administrative system. You have to, cities, they are considered to be areas of population, big population. They are considered to be areas of improved infrastructure. They are considered to be areas of tourism, you understand? So when you don't budget properly, and you just say, let us transfer this municipality into a state, minus putting much emphasis onto those factors that are going to push this city to reach to a level which you want to enjoy, all your citizens to be there to facilitate, to enjoy and really embrace the situation that is being provided by the environment, by the government. And remember, these politicians, for them, their interests, they are always personal. Because when they go on the floor, remember, before upgrading of these 10 cities, there was the capital city. It was Kampala by then. But Kampala had a lot of challenges, and you may even not believe that, is this really a capital city of Kampala? You find the younger youth, they are on streets, they are unemployable. You find there are trenches, there's garbage, you understand? Yet remember, it is a capital city. Its administrative system is still poor. There is a lot of complaints within the leadership, you understand? Now, for them, because they want to fulfill their political associates and affiliates, for them, they just go on the panel, they demand for amendments, they demand for upgradation of these areas. Yet they haven't realized that they need more and serious budgeting before they put into existence.
Thank you.
You understand?
Yeah, he brings out the challenges that the current cities are facing, even looking at the capital city itself. Coming to you, Rhona, when you look at what is happening currently and what the country is into, look at the national debt and all this, we look at this to be maybe a move that looks at the emphasis to be put on these cities that have been created. Do we really put into account what it takes for a city to operate? Because if we are looking for more and more, that means our intention is not just having cities, but maybe there could be something else. In your own view, do you really feel that this is coming to serve the best purposes and intention of having the development of the country, or having urbanization or decentralization of these things, or there could be something underlying and that can be maybe politically being pushed to the country? What's your view on that?
My view is this is an entirely political move. Why? Because even before the creation of these 10 cities, you could find that one city we had was not serving that purpose. You understand? So if At that point, when we were creating these 10 cities, we had Kampala serving the purpose. It is urbanized, it is having well-planned roads, well-planned infrastructure, we're having the development we want to see. Then it could clearly resonate to us, well, now we need to see this elsewhere. But at the time we're creating these 10 new cities that we are now grappling with to keep up, Kampala was still facing the same systematical changes. Bad roads, bad urban planning, no fundings, bad administration. When you look at KCCA itself, it was grappling within politics, you understand? So you see that this entire move was a political stunt. But even when you say yes, let's take you at best case scenario. You created these cities for urbanization. Why are you now demanding to create more 5? That these 10 are not even halfway serving the system. Like when you look at these challenges, you find these challenges are highly systematic, or that they are not something you can at one point find a plan for. When Honorable the local government minister was asked, he was like, give me a month, I'll come back with a plan. To me, it was very disturbing. Why? Check, these are problems that have been existent since 2020. That means for you to wake up and you're like, well, I just need a month to plan for these problems that have been existent since 2020. That is another issue to look at. We had these cities, that the 5 that they are now freezing were supposed to be released in 2022, 2023, 2024, progressively. What does that now show you? That now we are looking at the challenges of, we are looking at them not being made cities now. It clearly shows you it is not anything to do with urbanization. Because if it was something to do with urbanization, by 2022, when we were supposed to make these other cities, we would have seen these challenges that are facing the 10 cities created. We'd be like, well, it is July 2022. We're supposed to be making another city a city. Another municipality a city, sorry. What is the progress of the 10 cities we have created? So you understand that if it was to address the urban issues, it would have been addressed long time ago. Right now in 2025, we would be going back to see the addresses, all the challenges we saw in 2022. Are they being put in consideration? No. But after 2025, we now need to get members of parliament in our party to be there in parliament. We now remember that, well, we have our policy, let's create new cities. But the fact that the already existing cities are not working, and you cannot blind us now. Masaka is operating on 30% of administrative staff. You know what that means? It is being overly strained. When you look at Mbale city itself, it is still operating on Bukedea district's finances. We are borrowing from the mother cities. What that means is they cannot be self-sustained. Now you cannot hide that from the citizens. You can't hide that. So what they do, they come up with, well, we are going to take accountability, and in a month, we are going to solve problems that have been existent since 2020. You understand?
Yeah.
So to me personally, it is a good initiative that we have urbanization. We have more jobs created. We have more nearer policies created, because the more we have cities, the more people are now getting nearer services.
Yeah.
But if it comes at the cost of the budget, if it comes at the cost of you getting parliamentary seats, we are not in for it.
Thank you so much. We look at another, within this whole thing, there is a concept of having regional equity and development. Because if you look at most of these cities, I think at the heart of their creation was also relieving Kampala some of the burdens that it has as a city, but also looking at regional balance and equity and development. If we could look at that particular point, Mr. Baker, have the 10 cities, are they somewhere already in doing that? Because if you count from 2020 up to now, those are almost 5 years down the road. Yeah. Are 10 cities doing something in line with that? Or the way they were divided, did we achieve the regional equity and development in that process?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. When we got the question of regional balance and equity, I'll basically discuss where I come from, the region where I come from. I would love now a bit to try to maybe to appreciate in a sense that now in Mbarara now I've seen now Ministry of Internal Affairs, the services are across, Ministry of Education, the services are a bit closer. Then okay, some services are coming closer to us. That is a plus, you understand? But we are still looking at the quality of those services in terms of, are they really received by all the people? You understand? It remains a big question. When you move to other regions, when you move to other cities, Arua and the rest of the cities, are they receiving the same services that we are receiving in Mbarara? Are they receiving the same services that that are being received by a certain city in Fort Portal, right? Now, that is the question that we are looking at. So for the question of regional balance and equity, I think it is lacking. The reason as why it is lacking, it is because one, funding. Funding is still a big problem. It's still a big challenge. So if we cannot fund those cities, that means regional balance cannot be achieved, because you will achieve regional balance by merely making sure that all regions are getting the same services efficiently. We are looking at the term efficiently and effectively, by the way. So if we cannot achieve that, regional balance cannot be served at the end of the day. So for me, what I can say is that kudos to what the little that they have done.
There's something already.
There is something already that is being done. But there's also, I also say kudos to this idea of freezing the ones that they have not created, because it would escalate the situation. So kudos to those two things. But to the question of regional balance, I don't think we are there.
Okay.
We are not yet there.
Okay.
So that's my submission on regional balance.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Joan, we are looking at how people that are in these cities respond to them. Because it's one thing to say we have given you the city, but it's another thing embracing it and saying that, yeah, it has come and we really needed it. If you look at how the community, how the people responded to the creation of these new cities, would you say it was okay to put a hold on these? Or would you say, yeah, no, people needed these, so we can do more? What is the response of the community on these cities, the creation and the freeze?
Okay, thank you very much. So first of all, it depends anyway, the city and where it's located. So when you look at cities like Gulu and Fort Portal, you just feel like, okay, people really responded well to it. But when you look at some cities, you feel like maybe there is some ignorance in the society. They have the cities, but they don't know. Most of the people, even the people that are working in those specific seats, are not aware of what they are supposed to be doing. So I feel like at some point, yeah, some responded and they try to use the cities to their advantage, and some did not respond, and they do not know that they even have a city and it's supposed to be operating this way and this way. Let me give you an example. I feel like when you have a city, one, you should be able to fund yourself, right? You should be collecting your local revenue. You should be, you know, at least be able to pay your staffing, and you should be looking at fighting hard to have enough staffing so that you can operate adequately. But now you look at some cities and you ask yourself, really, why is it a city? And they want to add some in the same region. So you look at them and, you know, they do not have anything like, maybe, okay, let's say we are looking at cities that are doing well in tourism. Yeah, it's better, like Fort Portal. You're looking at cities that are trying to do something better. But then you're looking at some cities, they do not have any source of revenue. They are still borrowing, they are increasing all the debts we have as a country. And, you know, you just feel like even the people that are in the offices do not know what they are doing. It's just that, as I said, as the citizens, sometimes we push these politicians because at that moment they are vulnerable. Yeah, they need to go there, and you know, when you get a city like it was because of them. Yeah, yet as the citizens, at the end, after some years, we are like, oh, we are suffering because we have a city. Now we start blaming them again. You know, our politicians, they are selfish. Yet sometimes it's us who push them to do the things.
Okay, thank you so much, Andrew. When we look at most of these cities, maybe what would be down there, it would be the question or the issue of civic participation and decentralization. Looking at those 10 we have now, and now that we have the freeze, are we achieving something with the ones we have? Or even going forward, when we look at the support and making them function, is this where we're coming in to make them function, or we have already failed on that decentralization and civic engagement with these newly created cities?
Okay, first of all, when you try to analyze and observe these cities, they are still lacking more function. They are still lacking funding, some are still lacking better services, and what the people that stay in those cities, for them what they need service delivery. But when these leaders go on the panels, for them their idea is to seek for creation of more cities, such that their budget and their pockets can be supported. You understand? But what should these leaders do? They should put much emphasis and concentration on provision of services that are designed to these cities. That is, if we want to improve and to maintain equality in distribution of services in these cities, let us concentrate on service delivery. Let us improve their infrastructure in these cities. Let us improve health services. Let us create social services, provide social services, create opportunities that could help the younger generation to come up and believe that yes, this is our city, and they get to know that yeah, they can appreciate at a particular moment. Because I can give an example. For me, I come from deep in the village that is Bukoma Nsimbi.
Are you near a city, one of them?
Yes, I'm near Masaka city.
Okay.
Because it takes only 4K to move from Masaka to Bukoma Nsimbi.
You're part of the city.
Yes, I'm part of the city. But before making Masaka into a city, people were just, I may take an example, because there is this sector of repairing, repairing electronics. People were just saying, my phone has been damaged, but I don't know how can I make it to move to Kampala, such because for me they always tell me I should first go to Kampala such that I get that spare. But at this moment I can give a C plus at least, because when from Bukoma Nsimbi to Masaka it takes only 5K, and within a day you can go and repair your phone and you go back to village and you sleep. But still we are still lacking more services, because in Masaka you can find some streets there is garbage, people just throw the wastes as the way they want, you understand? So they need to strengthen the administrative policies of the city, such that we can reach at a level where someone can believe that yeah, this is a city.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Rhona, we're looking at these cities, and one would wonder, when these cities are coming, are the citizens, particularly of those cities, involved and consulted adequately? Or it is something they see, it has come and it goes? Because are we just imposing something on them? Because like he said, some of them don't know what is happening. A politician brings it and says, I have brought a city. They don't know it, and they've not heard anything about it. Are they consulted? Are they involved in it? In any case, do we see the population of these cities involved when they are being made, and what's their response to the whole?
I think most of these are not involved to the level where they should be involved. Because for someone to make a choice, they need to have the full informed kind of view. That is to say, you to inform me, what does a city constitute of? What am I supposed to do in a city? As a citizen who is living in now a formed city, what is my contribution to this? Well, the only involvement we have with people, or the population and the citizens in those kind of areas, is telling them, you're bringing for your city. Now you're going to be called Nzebera Mchibuga. You understand? So that is the only thing. And this is excitement. That is why right now, citizens of Kabale are fighting. We've been mobilizing ourselves to create a city. We are going to be called, yes, it's Kabale City. We do not know the things that underlie that. And this is a problem. Why? Because I personally believe if citizens were involved, I think urbanization becomes easy. If I know that now Kabale is a city and my contribution as a citizen is maybe let me go into the city, create a business, become an entrepreneur. I am adding to that, to the city, but I'll be in Kabale, but I'll still move to Kabale and bring my goods to Kampala. Because I'm not informed of what I should contribute to the city. But also too, like we have been saying, how many people are trying to be involved? Like how many people are needed? That is why to say now jobs, administrators, there are very many educated Ugandans. Educated Ugandans of Masaka should not be seen in Kampala looking for administrative jobs. Educated Ugandans of Masaka should be in Masaka. That is why now you have 32% of 100%. Imagine 70% of administrative staff is not available. How do you expect that such a city to be now playing part? But this is because we do not know what we should do. I personally am like, okay, now we have a city. So, you understand? Like it will require so much information. So my take is, before you create a city, Entebbe is still a municipality. Involve citizens of Entebbe on what they should do now to earn the city status. Yes, you citizens, begin creating your own jobs. Begin studying and coming back to do the administrative work in your cities. So by the time you give me city status, I have staff. We have the employment. Now when you begin things like physical planning, creating of jobs, there are people to do these things. Those are the challenges. Like, there are systemic challenges which need to be solved in a systemic way, not in a rush way. And that is what we keep on doing. Trying to solve down underrooted challenges with solving them from up here. So we're like, well, we need to fund this, but you pump money. You're pumping money, this money is not being used. That is why you see now, for around 41 billion was sent to these 10 cities. It is nowhere to be seen. And you cannot blame them. They also didn't know how to fund this, to use this money, to allocate the funds, do this and that. Yeah, I think it's a problem.
Thank you so much. We've been looking at this big question of today. Is the question of these cities a political move, or it is something that is looking at urban expansion? We also looked at the response from the citizens, but also analyzed the underlying challenges that could be leading to the halt of the creation of new cities. We will now take a short break and we'll be returning with the next part of this show. And thank you so much. Let's take a short break.
Digital rights are those human rights and legal rights that allow individuals to access, use, create and publish digital media, or to access and use computers, other electronic devices and telecommunication networks. Digital rights include a right to freedom of expression, information and communication through technology, a right to privacy and data protection, a right to credit for personal works, a right to universal and equal digital access, a right to identity, a right to anonymity, a right to be forgotten, and a right for protection of minors, among others. The state's digital rights are frequently violated through various unfair actions, for example, blockage of websites and social networks, theft of credentials, unauthorized use of people's data for personal gain, privacy intrusion, online censorship, arrests and intimidation of online users, internet blockages, and the proliferation of laws and regulations that undermine the potential of technology to drive social, economic, and political development worldwide. It is hence every citizen's responsibility to respect rights of other digital users and to speak out or report to the responsible parties when one's rights are violated.
Thank you so much and welcome back. We are still on the inter-university debate and talking about the freeze of the creation of new cities until we have the 10 created ones fully functional and supported. We left after analyzing what the current state of the created ones is and what the citizens perceive of it. We now get into this other part of the conversation to look at what should actually be the criteria of us having these cities created. Because in most cases, what we see is what has already happened. We see that citizens are not engaged at all, and by the time the news comes out, it's actually breaking news to them. It comes as something surprising, but also exciting, and most of them normally do not know what is entailed in the creation of these cities. I'll begin with you, Becca. What should be the proper criteria of us having these cities created?
I welcome the viewers from the break and I welcome all of us back to this discussion. Thank you, moderator, for that question. The question of the criteria. First and foremost, the first thing that we should do is extensive consultation. Extensive consultation from the grassroots. Ask the people, local people, are you ready for the city? Right? As my sister has said, are the people in position? We now who have went to school, I can the elite class, are we ready to go back to the villages and work in those schools, work in those hospitals, work in those administrative units that are back in our villages, right? Talk to us, because we have gone to school, we are educated, but we are not learned in some things. So we need to get learned about those things. And now that's what the government, that's the first step. Let's get that basic knowledge of why are we creating a city. We want to create jobs, right? If we want to create jobs in that area, it means that we are looking at regional balance, right? You're creating jobs. It means I will not now run away from Ntungamo, where I'm born, and I have to come to Kampala to look for a greener pasture, right? We have a question of the Bararo in Acholi, I think in Acholi. Why are those people there? Should we say that Ankole became too small for those people to move to Acholi? It's a question of really. So now, what are we looking at? If you look at Civic, I don't want to say, I don't want to lie about statistics, but basically the biggest number of the people that are dwelling around the cities are the youth that are running away from their homes because we don't have jobs there. And now what should be important is that when you're going to create a city, come educate the masses about why we are going to create a city that is called Mbarara, right? We want to create jobs, that is number one. Two, we want you guys to come back on ground and create the income generating businesses or projects that will now elevate your area, right? Because back in time, I'm now happy to see that Mbarara is now a changed city, because I think people have now gone back to make it. Because for Mbarara becoming a city, it was a lot of excitement to the people back there. But they have improved it at least. But now, are those people really, the people who are in Mbarara, are they really knowing that they should create more projects that should earn more money so that we can expand on service provision in that area, right? Because it should not be a question of creating a city and we are looking at now a population increase in Kampala, and what is it doing? We are seeing a creation of Muslims, right? That is a result of not educating these people that if we have to create more projects, and now we have created PDM, right? We have created PDM, that will help you create more projects and fund your city. Let it become bigger and better. You understand? Let us not see the fountain of one of the nation coming, driving around to supervise the project of a PDM, and you're showing the whole nation that you're visiting someone with 2 piglets. That is a shame. No, what I'm saying is that we are not educated enough of what a city should now contain. That is me personally, to my perspective, it is the best thing they should do. Let them not do what they did with Tojikwata issue. They said they went to consult people. Did they consult people in actual sense? No. let them consult the people from the grassroots, tell them the dynamics of creating a city. We are going to give you a city status, but are you going to be able to fund yourselves in terms of this and this and this? You understand? Let us not look at the central government as the one that will be funding what? The city. You understand? The central government has a lot of stress on itself. Let the city be having a position to create its income that would fund a city to run. You understand? Let us not look at now and we expect the national cake and we are all funding at the national cake to fund a city to run. So the government should look at majorly educating the masses, because I'm telling you, there is a proverb that says ignorance of the law has no defense. If these people, she said that they gave us a billions of money to fund those cities, you understand? And they were all mishandled in any manner. It is because we lack that civic education, right? So if we were educated enough on what that money would do, promise me you, that money would have been utilized and we would have seen those cities better functional and better, and would be now even pushing, why don't we see Kavada as a city? You understand? Okay. If the other ones, the money that was released was functional, you understand? But because we are not educated enough, as she said, and people are not consulted enough, and that is why she brought up a good point that people are putting pressure on the what? On the leaders, that we need cities, we need cities, we need cities. They need cities because they think city status is a city status. It's like when a poor man wants to marry a young girl, and she says, I want to be called a dad. If you're going to be called a dad, are going to be in position to feed that woman? When you produce, will you be able to look after that kid? That is the same scenario with this. Okay. So that is my status. That is the first thing that we should look at. Let us educate the masses. Okay. Full stop. We shall be good to go.
Thank you. John, when you talk about until they are fully supported and functional, which support do we look at for these cities to have them functional? Okay.
So first of all, when we look at the 10 cities that we are having, most of them are operating on 50% staffing. They do not have sufficient staffing. So one thing that we should actually look at in the beginning is having to fill the gaps within the cities. Put enough staff, provide the funding on time, and be questionable or be accountable to where the funding is going. So another thing would be the educating the masses, as he has said. You know, it starts with me, the local person. How do I take this, or do I know if I'm given a city status before you even consult me? Because, you know, this consultation thing, we've seen it in our political parties. They tell you to adopt and they give you money. You don't know what you're adopting. And, you know, you come to the world and you're like, adopt it. What are you adopting? So the first thing should be actually, we have agreed that they are failing. So one thing we should look at, let them freeze the cities that have not yet happened, go back and assume we are creating these cities right now. They go back, they educate the masses. You know what, Mbara is a city, Gulu is a city. You as a citizen, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this. Let people get to know that we have dates. People do not know. They are voting for these presidents, they are voting for these people because they are ignorant. They think being in their they are called what? Husks and what? Being in these small houses, and you know, you're receiving 5K or 5,000 shillings for voting is the best way to go. Or the next day they see someone bringing a tractor, maybe they are trying to, you know, they say they are doing road construction and they are not improving anything. They feel like that's the way to go. Okay, he's working. Yet in actual sense, we are not looking at the future of the country. You know, Uganda is one of the countries that was doing well before the 2000s. It was doing well than the Japanese. It was doing well than China. It was far better. But you ask yourself, these are first countries now. You see China, you see where it is, you know, a country that is competing with the US in most of the things, you know, they are doing well and they are developing very fast. Yet Uganda was doing well in those bad days, the ones we call bad days. But at the moment, we are doing poorly. Why? Those countries sent their kids to study from the countries that were big by then. They sent their kids to study from the US, get the knowledge, and get to know how to handle their country. So those people looked at the future. Now, for us, when we come with the Agenda 2040, Agenda 2030, 2030 is coming. I don't know what we have achieved as a country. Yeah, we have achieved something, but then how much have we achieved? So educating the masses is you trying to say, I'm looking at the future. But if you come to me and you give me 10,000 Ugandan shillings to adopt the plan, because when you say we have to go and consult the local people, I'm very sure I know what they do. That's what they do. If they've decided we are going to make Kabale a city, they've decided. So they come to the local person and they are like, you know what, I'm going to buy you this, just adopt. So if we are in reality, we are looking at the future, we are looking at our children, the kind of life they are going to live, then we need to first go and educate these local people. You put them in somewhere and educate them, and you're like, you know what, when we create a city, this is what happens, this is what happens. Apparently, we have this and this city, they are doing like this and this and this. So we have, when we do that, we are accountable, and, it makes sense. People get to know that, okay, when I get a city status, I'm supposed to do this, I can now apply for this job, but people are still applying for jobs outside their city. People are still, the kadamas are increasing day one, day in, day out. They are increasing. We have not seen a day or a year when the kadamas are reducing. They are increasing every day. So if we are not looking at those things and, we are trying, okay, maybe we've pushed the politicians, we want you to create a city for us, and you as a politician, you go, okay, I'm vulnerable, I have to do this. You bring it, you're not looking at the future of your grandchildren, and they're going to suffer, and sometimes you don't know whether you're going to stay, you're going to be around during those days, and you're going to be looking at your children, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And when we look at all these things and the challenges we are facing, it's clear that maybe some of these things you're not ready for them. And even when we're not ready for them, we're even planning for more. This whole and the recognition of new cities and putting many of these other things, would you attach it to the poor planning of our people in government?
Yes. The freeze of the promotion of new cities, I really support it 100%. Because even still the existing cities are still lacking function. When you see the planning, when ministers are called to present their budget and plans, legal and official, they have some priorities where they are supposed even to go abroad and make enough research, you understand, towards the development of these cities, you understand. But for them, when they are given funds to go there, they do not do what took them there. They just take a tea, they just visit places, they go to different temples, they go to mansions, they take photos. You can see, Minister of Finance, Rhona Castle, is out, he has gone there to do what? To make research about this and this. You understand? When you see him, you just see him posing, busy taking tea, you understand? When he comes, he just writes what comes into his mind. He just writes down, then he brings onto the table. He just reads. And our leaders, they are not good at reading. For them, they don't want to understand. They don't want to, maybe to get tired. For them, they just, even if you can watch them, someone is on the panel reading a budget or has brought up a plan. He's reading to them a plan concerning where they are supposed to give in their submission. You understand? For them, they are, you may just see them, they are on iPads. They are enjoying WhatsApps, they are just on clips. Okay. You understand? Okay. They just tap on, he's a point of order, someone just looks, they are not serious at all. Okay. You understand?
Okay. Rhona, we are getting to the final bits of this, and we want to really ask this question out there, because when you look at what all of us are looking at, we're looking at either cities are not ready or people are not involved, and yet even when we put to hold, it means we have not stopped completely. That means that at a later time, these cities will come and be passed as well, or be passed as new cities coming on board to join the rest of the 10. What should Parliament use as benchmark or highlights to assess for city readiness?
Okay, that's a very good question. Personally, I think, like we said before, I don't want to repeat, but like we said before you give me city status, I'm a municipality. As a municipality, am I meeting my municipality values? Am I having the leaders that are supposed to be at the municipality level? The functions of a municipality, are they really working that well? You understand? Because we begin with what we have. If as a municipality, you're not really functional, you're not having maybe that administrative power that is implementing the laws and everything, why then should we upgrade you? We should even downgrade you. You understand? But also too, what is our most urgent matter? Is our most urgent matter to have more cities? Or is our most urgent matter to better what we already have? That is like the question we needed to ask ourselves before creating even the 10. What is the most urgent matter for Ugandans right now? Because I think in 2020 we had worse situations where you can look at hospitals like now, Sorority referral. Till now, no infrastructure, no funding, no equipment. And you find these are things that can be done with or without city status. And you still ask yourself, for us to achieve this development we're talking about, the urbanization, do we really need to first have the city status? Do we need to have created that another district? Those more constituencies, those more, you understand, like, do we need these things in place for us to have PDM functional? I think as a state and as our leaders, we need to know the most approximate problems of the people. Go to the people. Like, these are things that are already done. People, TV shows have gone down to ground. Ask, what is your problem? Our problem, well, we do not have where to put rubbish. Our problem, well, we do not have good roads to the market. Those are the most proximate problems we need to be solving. Coming to the city, now that it is already in place, and it's not like, well, we are going to now merge them. They're already in place. Now these ones that are already in place, how do we make them functional to still serve their purpose? Like we said, educate the masses, but to be there on ground, like make sure we've created this city. Follow up there and then. Do not wait 5 years later, now that you want more cities, you want more constituencies to vote for you. Now you'll be like, okay, in 2020 we created cities. Are they working? No, they are not working. Oh, in 2022 we had to create another city, but since we had finished elections, that city we forgot. Now in 2026 we need more districts. Now we remember we had more 5 cities to create in 2022 and 2023. You understand, this is already a depiction that this is not something we are doing for the wellness of our people. It is something we are doing for our own personal gain. So it's already off. It's already not classified as something we should do. So me personally, I think, first of all, Parliament should go back on ground, level one, square one. What do these people need? Do these people in municipalities, what do they need? More urbanization. Urbanization can really happen without a city. We can have hospitals created without a city, schools created without a city. And Ugandans are not like static individuals. We're very flexible individuals. That is why when Kampala was closed in COVID-19, we all went back to our villages. We created boutiques in our villages. And when the lockdown was lifted, we did come back. You understand? So it clearly shows how flexible we are. So if Mukono right now has good roads, I'll go to Mukono and work. But even if Mukono is made a city, or maybe Mbara is made a city, but it is still not having the good roads, it still does not have the good people to work there, we'll not go back to Mbara. No, we also want to come to Kampala where we know, well, maybe at least the roads are somehow well, I can work this side. You understand? So
okay.
yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. And that shows us if the benchmark that the Parliament should look at before they come to these final decisions of saying that now we're giving a city or we're not giving a status, because even the existing ones, we're already seeing the loopholes that are really engaged. Mr. Becker,
Yes.
as we get to the end of this, if the country was to have an urbanization strategy, to have the public included, but also have the public input in most of these things to be done, what are those things that you would really put up to them as recommendations?
First of all, I want us to first give power back to the people. You know, we're here, we're talking. Promise me you, someone out there would land on what we have discussed tonight. Very young, brilliant ideas. They will say, those are things that we hear every day. Right? So let us have the power back to us as the people, as the Constitution gives us that mandate. Let us first now, let the government first give us the power. Let them first give us the ears. Let them listen to us, right? And now there we can advise. But even if I give a recommendation right here, you see, I can give a recommendation, but I'm still asking myself, will it happen? Will it come to life, right? But nonetheless, let's see what can we recommend if we are to deal with urbanization, right? For starters, me as a person, I would literally look at the capital city, right? If you look at the capital city, can we now try to work around the clock to see that the things that are in existence, the infrastructure that we already have, is it to the right expectations that we are having? Recently, I was listening to Capital Radio, and Gaetano and Lucky, they were saying, pothole. You understand? Kampala, you see that phrase? It means that the infrastructure, in terms of roads, there are potholes. Can we first now remove? You remember, Gaetano and Lucky, those are people who have a voice out there. So they're sending a message to me and you that Kampala is full of what? Potholes. Can we first clear that? Can we first construct? Can we try to look at now effectively working around the clock on what we have before we look at the rest that we shall add in place, right? If you go to Cancer Institute here, up here, if you go to Munago Hospital, you will cry. I want to ask myself, rest in peace, Cedric Babu. Why should we now come, a big figure like Cedric Babu, we are in an outcry to look to get money to go and take Cedric Babu outside the country for what? For heart transplant. You understand? Are we that miserable as a country not to have a facility that can do heart transplant, right? Can we improve on that infrastructure of health first, right? Before we look at recommending on what urbanization should be, and because what makes urbanization sensible, Mr. Moderator, is one. A service is superb, right? Okay. The reason is why you have to move from wherever you are moving, from Ntungamo, Rashamira, where I come from, to Kampala, is I'm looking for a better service, right? The reason is why I left university in Ntungamo and I came to Kyambogo is because I'm looking for a quality service, right? Okay. So can we work around the clock and we stop these Banyankore men that are bringing their kids to set high school? Okay. You understand? Can we modernize those schools?
Thank you so much. Don't make it so fast on the Banyankore men, but let's.
I'm just giving it context, right? Okay. I'm not taking it personally because I'm one of those people. So okay. I would love to school from there because when I school from home, it means I would be looking at the challenges that are happening at my home place and I work around the clock so that I can solve them because I'm facing the challenge. Okay. So the challenge that I'm seeing right now is in Kampala and I don't know what is happening home.
Thank you so much, Becca. Let's hear from you, Joan. Becca opens and says, first of all, we should begin by giving power to the people. If we are to recommend something to Parliament in all these things that are happening, what would be your recommendation in order to have this urbanization working but also functional?
Okay, thank you very much. So I will insist on the ignorance. We need to first deal with the ignorance in the country. I know, yeah, when I say that, people will be like, really, Ugandans are now educated, but we are going to the field for internship, and we are like, really, why am I even, you know, you have that bias of, okay, I'm going back to campus next semester. Like, I mean, you've been in school, you go for internship, and literally, the things are totally different.
Okay.
So can we really look at removing the ignorance? Because we are in those groups for politicians, and you look at someone who is an educationist, someone who is a lawyer or working in judiciary, and you look at the things they are putting out there, and you're like, are these learned people? And you know you're young. When you speak, they will be like, okay, she's a child, she doesn't. And you ask yourself, and you're like, really, is this a learned person trying to? And you know, people are following them, and they are believing them. Okay. So us as a country, we have to first deal with the ignorance. The government or the parliament has to understand that they need to first go to the fields and educate the people about what they are bringing on board, and make the people remove that bias, as he has said, of saying that if I recommend this, it's going to be implemented.
Thank you.
Because there is recommending, and you have the bias, and you're like, this is the ruling government, let it be there, let me give them more votes, you understand?
Okay.
Because I'm not doing anything, I'm not contributing anything. But if they deal with the ignorance, educate the people who are working in those local governments about where they are supposed to be, and make them accountable, then educate the masses in those local governments, then we are going to be, you know, we are going to believe that, okay, we are supposed to work as a country. And
thank you. Andrew, in your final bits, just if you are now at the floor of Parliament, they have called you as someone from us to advise Parliament on this particular matter, on the urbanization strategy. What would you advise them?
First of all, these leaders, they need, actually, I don't know how shall we make this, but leaders need to get a sense of humanity. In our language, you get it a ubuntu, sense of humanity. Since you are the spearheader of any plan, please maintain integrity, because the government always make plan for different activities, but these leaders, there is a disease called corruption. Corruption is taking us. Because if it is not corruption, everything would have been fine. But each and every issue that is tabled onto the panel, you hear people, you hear sounds and rumors. There is a mover of that thing. There is a mover. There is a politician who's spearheading that one. There is a deal in that issue. You understand? If we treat corruption, everything will be fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. As we conclude, Rhona, what do we tell the people outside there? Because now these people have been advising Parliament, and I'm sure Parliament has had. But how do we advise also the public to have take part or also engage on this urbanization, as Parliament is also doing its part? What can citizens also do?
Okay, as citizens, like you said, we citizens have the least amount of power. So the best choice we have to make in order to be like, well, even if I have a policy I think should come into work, is to choose the right leader. That is number one. We should now know, now that we're going into 2026 elections, who is the leader I'm giving my vote? Am I giving my vote to someone who gave me 50K today? Am I giving someone who I know is going to be able to make these plans work? But two, we should, like I said, that is one. But two, because we know in most cases these people reach Parliament and they do their own things. Even the person you're like, okay, this person was telling us the best manifesto, they'll reach Parliament and want to feed themselves. And you'll not blame them. Human nature is inherently selfish. Let's do our part.
Okay.
If it's a city, let me go to the city. Let me work let me build my business. Let me put it in Masaka. Let me not come to Kampala.
Okay.
I want to see Masaka city flourish. Let me build my business in Masaka. Let me take part into taking away the rubbish I see in Bale City every morning. Let me take part to do that dispose of rubbish. Let me make sure I do not build a house where I know there was a swamp.
Okay.
So these are things that are really necessary for a city. We need to see that new jobs created, we need to see that good physical planning. But even without our leaders coming forth, we as the public, let us take charge. Let me not build in a swamp for me to wait for a physical planner to come and tell me this is where I'm supposed to build. Yeah, let's take charge as we pray and choose the right leaders, and we pray that they will make our policies fly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our dear viewers. This has been the inter-university debate, and the amazing panelists here took into action and discussed amazing things on the topic, the freeze of the new created new cities, but also making sure that the 10 created are supported and fully functional. We're also asking ourselves, is this a political move or it is something that is looking at urbanization? We looked at the public engagement, looked at the parliament and how these cities are and the challenges they are facing. I want to thank you for being with us up to this time. My name is Gilbert for this particular show, and thank you so much. Until next time, thank you so much.